guys, Robbie46 and welcome yourselves to the race results and analysis from yesterday's MotoGP race at Sepang. It was Dani Pedrosa who took his first pole position in quite a while. He was quite a bit quicker than everyone else, 0.4 quicker than Marc Marquez and 0.6 quicker than both Rossi and Lorenzo. Rossi taking third and Lorenzo down in fourth. But the talking point of the whole weekend was came in the press conference on Thursday when, after reviewing the footage of Phillip Island, Rossi had decided that Marquez was playing tactical and was deliberately slowing the pace down in Phillip Island so that Lorenzo could get away. In my results and analysis video for Phillip Island, I did say in the video that Marquez did have a bit of a weird race, because when he got to the front of the pursuing group he did drop the pace. According to him, he overheated the front tyre and had to let it cool back down a bit. But I don't know who's right and who's wrong. But yeah, Rossi called Marquez out, and obviously Marquez denied it, and then Rossi started to get a bit too personal and was basically saying that he doesn't believe that he was ever Marquez's idol and that Marquez was lying about it. Obviously Marquez took offence to that, as you would do, and things started to get a bit too spicy between the two riders. Marquez deciding to follow Rossi on some of the free practices just to, or what it seemed like, annoy him. In some of the free practices, Rossi slowed down to let Marquez pass, but as soon as he'd done that, Marquez decided to slow down, so he didn't go past. So, yeah, then came the race. And it was Dani Pedrosa off pole position who got a great start, followed by Marquez, and Rossi got a pretty decent start and slotted into third place. Lorenzo lost 2 places off the start, being overtaken by both Andrea Iannone and Andrea Dovizioso. And Marquez looked quite content following his teammate for a bit, and at the end of the first lap, Jorge Lorenzo managed to get the better of both Ducatis and was now in fourth. Damien Cudlin didn't finish the first lap, and I think this is... Some people were saying that there was a yellow flag waving, and the only person I can obviously think of that is Damien Cudlin causing that at the first corner where Lorenzo overtook Rossi. Personally, I didn't see it, but people have been tweeting photos and that of Lorenzo overtaking Rossi under a yellow flag. Obviously, in the race, if that happens, what the riders are meant to do is obviously give the place back and then attempt to re-overtake. But nothing was said about that. Nothing was picked up. So anyway, Lorenzo obviously into third, and yeah, he was pushing, and Rossi tried to go with him, tried to snap back immediately, but almost got his nose cut off. Settled down a little bit. Lorenzo caught Marquez. A little bit of a gap was appearing up to Pedrosa. Lorenzo caught Marquez and passed him quite easily, and then Rossi caught up to Marquez, got in front of Marquez, and yeah, it did appear that Marquez's body language changed slightly, and immediately started to scrap with Rossi. As soon as Rossi got in front of him for the first time, Marquez immediately snapped back and retook third place. And it was weird how, I mean, I don't want to go into conspiracy theories and all that bullshit, but Marquez did look like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure he could have snapped straight back at Lorenzo, but he didn't. And as soon as Rossi got in front of him, he, yeah, everything seemed to start to change. and the two riders had an absolutely monumental battle for the next 6 laps. Unfortunately, Andrea Iannone had to retire due to technical problems, and Loris Baz was out as well. Lap 7, and all hell broke loose. Marquez and Rossi were both doing pretty aggressive passes on each other. A lot of the passes were block passes, and their pace was slowing. Lorenzo was getting away, Pedrosa got away, and this frustrated Rossi. He did give Marquez a hand signal at one point. I don't know whether it was straight after Rossi got in front of Marquez. I don't know whether it was a hand signal to say sorry for an aggressive pass, or whether it was a hand signal to say just calm down. But Marquez didn't yield and carried on, attacking Rossi, and Rossi attacking back at Marquez. And then, 7 laps in, turn 13, Rossi went underneath Marquez, and the previous lap, Marquez went underneath Rossi at turn 13, and Rossi decided to repay the favour. But by this time, Rossi was fuming with what Marquez was doing. It seemed like what he was saying about Phillip Island was coming true at Sepang. Whether that was Rossi's doing for saying about Phillip Island and Marquez thinking screw it, or whether, I don't know, Rossi thinks that it's to do with Marquez, the fact that Marquez thinks that Rossi made Marquez lose the title, when in fact Marquez done quite a bit of crashing himself. But yeah, so turn 13, Rossi went up the inside and just looked at Marquez, who was on the outside, and ran him wide, right to the edge of the track. They're going very slow. They both turned to exit the corner, and a collision happened. Marquez went down. The thing is, though, Rossi's left leg moved when Marquez crashed, and I don't know whether it was an intentional kick or whether Rossi's leg got caught and dragged off the foot peg. I don't know. Obviously, both riders have said the opposite of each other. Rossi claims that his leg was forced off the foot peg by Marquez's crash. Marquez has claimed that Rossi kicked his handlebars and that's why he crashed. But to be honest, none of the camera angles were that helpful in that incident. The best one was the onboard camera, but because Rossi is just the right hand side of Marquez, a lot of Marquez's body covers up Rossi's. The other camera angles we got was a overhead camera shot, but I don't know what to make of it. I don't know who's at fault. I would like to think that Rossi didn't kick him, but who knows? That's the problem. The only two people that know what actually happened are the two riders, and obviously they're both gonna say whatever suits themselves best. But obviously the incident was being looked at throughout the rest of the race, and the decision was going to be made clear after they spoke to both riders at the end of the race. The thing is about the incident, I don't want to speak too much about who's wrong or who was right and all that. Rossi shouldn't have made the initial move to force Marquez out wide and look at him, because that was a bit of a stupid move. It's difficult because at the same time I don't think Marquez helped himself. I know that Rossi pretty much started it all because he was the one that called Marquez out on it and got a bit personal. but it got personal in the race as well. Someone did ask me on Saturday what I thought about what Rossi said. I thought, Rossi's just trying to play mind games, and yeah, but come the race, it got personal in the race as well, and yeah, Rossi was pissed off with Marquez. And the thing is, Marquez could have just ignored Rossi and just got on with it, but I don't think he helped the situation by following Rossi in practice and then, racing. Marquez didn't look like he was racing to win the race. That's what I will say, because his body language did change when Rossi got in front of him. He didn't look like he was going to attempt to go with Pedrosa or Lorenzo. He reckons that he was faster than Rossi and could have caught up to Lorenzo, but I'm not so sure. But at the end of the day, I think that Rossi's penalty, which was given at the end of the race, which was 3 penalty points on his licence, which meant that he now had 4 on his licence, which results in him starting from the back of the grid in Valencia. That's a fair punishment. People have been saying, well, what about Marquez? He deserves a punishment because he was not acting very sportsmanlike either. Well, to be honest, he got his punishment in the race. I don't mean that he crashed, but he scored no points, and I think that's punishment enough. Obviously, some people think that Rossi wasn't punished enough. But the thing is, Valencia would have been a very difficult race for him anyway, without the penalty, and now it's going to be even harder for him. But I think that both riders are as bad as each other. They both need their heads banging together and just get on with it. It's not really what we want to see, and to be honest, it did spoil the race. And I do feel sorry for Pedrosa, because he rode a really exceptional race. He'd been quick all weekend, and obviously the limelight got taken off his win because everyone was looking at the incident between Rossi and Marquez. And to be honest, it's kind of spoilt the season as well, because we've had one of the best MotoGP seasons we've had in such a long time. And yeah, it's kind of spoilt it, because obviously we're not going to get a massive finale at Valencia now. I mean, we still could. It's motorbike racing, anything can happen. Rossi's still got a chance of winning the title, but if Lorenzo takes the win, Rossi has to finish second. And from the back of the grid, that's going to be a tall order. But those two Hondas are going to be strong at Valencia. It's their home circuit, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's definitely a sad situation that's happened, and yeah, I think that both riders are to blame for what happened. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I would like to think that Rossi didn't kick him, and would like to think that maybe his leg was dragged off, but we've got no concrete evidence that 100% backs up either theory. So yeah, it's like I said, both riders have done press conferences now. Although Rossi didn't go to the post-race press conference, but he did speak to the media afterwards, saying that Marquez is trying to interfere with him because Marquez thinks that Rossi lost Marquez the title this year. But yeah, anyway, we'll get back to the race now, and a few laps later, Cal Crutchlow made a move on Dovizioso, which did result in Dovizioso crashing out of the race. That was with 10 laps to go. That, unfortunate for Ducati. Dovizioso was having a good race, the best race he's had in a few races now. But yeah, that was was unfortunate for him. And the two Suzukis were battling fiercely throughout the whole race as well, both Vinales and Alicia Spargaro. Stefan Bradl, he was, I don't know what he ate for breakfast, but Jesus, he was going quick on the Aprilia. So the results after a dramatic race, Dani Pedrosa took the win. Lorenzo was, it did look like Lorenzo was going to close down Pedrosa in the closing stages of the race, but the gap came down a little bit and then it opened up more than it came down, and Lorenzo ended up 3.6 seconds back from Pedrosa. Rossi came home in third place. Bradley Smith, Battle of the Brits with Crutchlow as well. He came home in fourth and Crutchlow fifth. Danilo Petrucci, a really good, strong, dry result for him in sixth place. Alicia Spargaro had the honours of the top Suzuki, beating his teammate Maverick Vinales to seventh, with Vinales coming eighth. Paolo Spargaro, not been the best weekends for him, came home in ninth. Stefan Bradl on the Aprilia came 10th place. Scott Reddin 11th, Yoni Hernandez 12th, Hector Barbara, the top open class bike, in 13th. Tony Elias got a couple of points in 14th, and Alvaro Bautista on the other Aprilia was 15th. Outside the points, you had Nicky Hayden in 16th, Jack Miller 17th, Mike DeMeglio 18th, Eugene Laverty 19th, and Anthony West 20th. So that's that race done. The next race at Valencia, 2 weeks' time. It's going to be an interesting race. Obviously, people are still talking about the incident between Marquez and Rossi, and I think they will do right up until Valencia. The trouble we have now is that, like I said, it has kind of spoilt the season, but now we have the problem that no matter who wins the title, a lot of people are going to be moaning. Because if Lorenzo wins the title, loads of people are going to be moaning that he only won the title because he didn't get a fair fight with Rossi, and because Rossi had to start from the back of the grid. And if Rossi goes on to take the title at Valencia, then people are going to be moaning that Rossi wasn't punished enough. And yes, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And like I said, my view on it is they're both as bad as each other, and they just need to sort their shit out and just get on with actually racing, and instead of making it personal on track. Yeah, the last race what's been a very dramatic and really good season. It's coming to a close, and 7 points between Rossi and Lorenzo now. So, like I said, if Lorenzo wins, then Rossi will have to come second and no lower, and he'll win by 2 points. But if those two Hondas come to play again, then it depends where Lorenzo finishes. But yeah, the championship's not over for either one of them. It's all still to play for, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave this video a like, subscribe to my channel for more content, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See you.